down there. It looks like they were bunching up pretty good as they're getting ready to come through, Mike, behind the pace car.
All right, well, they were just about a half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, they were going through their last test/practice session. Two of the guys were pump drafting, and that's a no-no on test day. You don't do that. And, of course, they had their Patty Paul smacked for that one and said, not during testing. So, this time, now they'll be able to pump draft going down the front stretch, so we'll probably see that. And in fact, here's the green flag, and we are off and running. Isaac Jordan, well, the 13 car, 13 of Rafi Abdullali trying to make a run here as they are 3 wide going down into turn number 1. And Abdullali may be the winner of that. In fact, he is. He takes the top spot going into turn 2. Tim?
All right, flying blind up here for a second, but yes, it looks like Abdullali is still out front right now, about 2 car length over the second position right now. Making their way through turn number 4, going out around the wiggle behind the Officers Club here as I lose them behind the top of the building here.
And you should pick him up again coming out behind it.
Yeah,
Bob's not there at 8 yet.
Nope, I'm flying blind up here, Mike. No iPad, no nothing. I am flying blind.
I see. All right, so it's, as far as I know, it's just Abdullali, then probably Ryan Harrison and Isaac Jordan, as Harrison did beat Jordan to the start-finish line. You can reset it once they come around here. And it looks like over that end of the track coming around to turn number 9, it looks like it's pretty much single file. Now, I can't see any car numbers from here because it's probably about a good half-mile distance. And I'm old and my eyesight ain't that good anymore. So they should be coming around here, and the front of the pack should be heading over towards the bridge here momentarily. And here they come heading over to the bridge now. And down the front stretch. And it is, let's see, it is the 13 car of Abdullali in the lead, followed by the 34 of Thomas Paolino. Then it's Ryan Harrison back in third. Jacob King fourth. Dickerson and Isaac Jordan side by side, 5th and 6th. Mike LaMena up to 7th. James Fox 8th. David Levin, Derek Jones in 10th. Down into turn number 1, we have a car that has spun out off into the dirt over there. I don't think he collected anybody else with him. But let me grab my handy binoculars here and see what I can find out. And of course, it's right behind the building over there, as that car now pulls away. So it was a single car incident, just off the track into the dirt, back on the track. Whoever it was will end up being at the rear of the field, so a bad break there.
He was able to regain entrance to the field. I believe it was single car, Mike, from what I've seen.
Yeah, that's what I caught down there. It looks like Ted Cahall and Robert Cahall, the 182 and the 08. It looks like they tripped the transponder, but I don't see him completing that first lap. So right now it looks like there's 19 cars on the track right now. Rafi Abdullali with a great move right at the start of this race. Took the lead before they got to the start-finish line from 3rd, I believe. Let me take a look. He started 3rd or 4th. He was in 4th, so he went from 4th to 1st between the bridge. Well, from the time that they dropped the green flag, went from driver's left all the way to driver's right, made the pass. Now he has opened up easily a 15-car length advantage over Thomas Paolino. And another 15, maybe 20 back to the 111 now of Jacob King, who is up to 3rd. As it looks like our race leader, Abdullali, it's not going to be too long, maybe another 4 or 5 laps, and he's going to catch the back end of the field here.
That's crazy, Mike, because he's got at least 40 car lengths or more going through. But looking here between King, Levin, and Lamania, that's closed up a little bit now as they're going behind the Officers Club here, looking from the back of the tower over. About 2 car lengths separating Levin and Lamania, about 4 car lengths separating Lamania and Jones as they're making their way up the little hill here. And the race leader should be over towards you, Bob.
Yep, it looks like Jacob Levin. Let's see, that's the 00 is now at the lead of that pack, passing Jacob King, as it is now Levin, Lamania, and Derek Jones in that order, and those guys are putting on quite a race there. We have Levin in the 00 they're now braking into the braking zone, coming into the carousel, coming around that first turn. They are about 2 car lengths apart. Let's keep an eye on these guys coming around out of the carousel. Now down to a car length into the braking zone, into 11. And they're down to about half a car length as they come around 11, coming around 12 here. These guys are nose to tail. Man, you could throw a blanket over them. They're trying a couple of different lines. Car 111 is now in second with David Levin in first in that group. So make Levin fourth, Jacob King fifth, and Michael Lemania is sixth. Under the bridge and over to you, Mike.
All right, and they are, oh man, a little bit of bump draft in there. David Levin and Jacob King. Oh, and Mike Lemania right there. Now I think Lemania just took over that fourth spot from Jacob King. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, they're playing leapfrog. He did make that pass right there after turn number 1, Mike. That was beautiful. Right before the 200 mark of the braking zone in the 1, that pass was made and stuck. But yes, I saw that bump drafting, and we know the Miatas are good for that. These three, between Levin, King, and Lemania, obviously Lemania made his way around King, Bob, but these two are running about, or three are running about 2 car lengths in between them as they're making their way over towards you.
Down into the braking zone, and this would be turn number 7. But they are only about a car length apart now. Our overall leader has now started to lap the tail end Charlies of the field. And as we look back at that race, with Levin, King, and Lemania, actually Levin, Lemania, and King, they're coming into the braking zone, into the carousel, coming around the carousel right now. They're coming up onto some slower traffic here, and that is going to hold them up just a little bit. We could have some changes here as they go into the turn between 11 and 12. Let's see what happens as they come out. A little bit of dust, and it looks like our, let's see what we've got. 00, of course, David Levin. Then you've got the 88 of Lemania and Jacob King as they go under the bridge, and over to you, Mike.
All right, and our race leader, Rafael Abdullahi, got around Jessica Sullivan and is now going after Isaac Jordan. Jordan in 19th. There are 19 cars left on the lead lap. But it's still Levin in 3rd, Lemania in 4th, Jacob King in 5th, and the fastest man on the track, Mike Lemania in that 88.
All right, it looks like our 3-pack is going to be coming up on a slower car as they're making their way towards the back of the Officers Club here. Still about 5 car lengths behind that slower car, but they are making their way through right now. Wide open after they get past that, going up the little hill here as I watch for them to pack up off the other side here of the back of the building. Nothing's really changed there, Bob, so I'm not sure if they were making their way through that slower car. Nope, still about 5 car lengths. We might have a change there.
Well, they're making their way through the slower car, but Jacob King has gotten pretty much hung out to dry. He's about 5 car lengths back between the pack, but it's Lemania and Levin in that order, and those guys are moving through. Now, that slower car is still in the mix, but now we've got these guys passing a couple of more slower cars. So this is going to be real interesting. This is in the carousel. This is one of the most difficult turns and the most deceptive turns on the racetrack as they're coming through 11 into 12. Let's see who comes out first. We've got a 4-pack here, and that 4-pack includes one of the slower cars. The first one is car number 34. That's Thomas Paolino. 88, Michael Lemania is on a march. You got David Levin, Jacob King, and they are coming towards you, Mike.
All right, so move Lemania up to 3rd, Levin back to 4th, and never mind, move Lemania up to 2nd as he gets by Paolino now. And a little farther back, we got a great race going with James Fox, Ryan Harrison, Dave Tindard, and Greg Bogart. They're running 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. They have a great race going on between them 4. So racing all over the track here this afternoon. Tim?
Paolino, Lemania, King, and Levin making their way behind the Officers Club right now. That 4-pack has been switching up here. I do not believe there was any passes past turn number 2, Mike, but as you called it, they did make their way through a pass there going into turn number 1. As I look out here, they are going to be coming up on some slower traffic, Bob, so they're going to be bucking and weaving in between them here shortly.
They just got finished bucking and weaving. They are now a car length apart, and they are coming into the turn. That's turn number 12. Actually, that's not turn number 12. That's turn number 9. and now they're coming down that short straight in between 9 and the carousel. Our two guys that are in the lead of that, Paolino and LaMena, side by side as they come into 10 and into 10 and into 11. Side by side again, still as they're coming around 11 into 12. Now that settles out. It's still Paolino in second, LaMena in third, Jacob King in fourth, David Levin in fifth as they come out of 12. Up into 13. Let's see what's happening. They're side by side again. It is LaMena in the lead here with Paolino in second. Then you've got 00 David Levin and Jacob King 111 as they're coming under the bridge. And over to you, Mike.
All right, and our race leader, Abdullahi, has just gotten by Dan Jankowski. There are now only 16 cars left on the lead lap. At the front, Abdullahi has a 19-second lead over Mike LaMena, then Paolino in third, David Levin fourth, Jacob King in fifth. Tim?
Mike, as they were going into turn number 1, it was a mix-up between the LaMena, Paolino, and Levin. There might have been a change there between Paolino and Levin as they were going into turn number 1. We'll see if Bob can sort that out. But as I'm looking across, there's a 5-pack thundering up that hill there between LaMena, Paolino, Levin, King, and Jones, Bob, as they're making their way up the little hill and then down around the turn towards turn number 6. Bob?
Yep, there's a compression. You've got LaMena, then you've got 00 David Levin, Paolino in the mix there, and a couple of side-by-sides with King, Derek Jones, and Dickerson. All those guys all in one pack. And boy, oh boy, this is like the start of the race, and we still have 24 minutes to go. So we're about a third of the way through, and this racing looks like it was the first lap, man. These guys are just putting on a show. They're going to be coming up on some slower traffic, probably on the main straight here, as that traffic is only about half a turn ahead of them. But as our group, LaMena, Levin, Paolino, and King, come through 12 and into the short straight, drops a few wheels. Here is, let's see, LaMena, then you've got 00 Levin, then 34 Paolino and Jacob King, and joining the pack, car number 5, Derek Jones. Over to you, Mike.
All right, Abdullahi is already way past here, and now comes LaMena. Levin up the third, Paolino back and forth, Jacob King in fifth. Then it's David Dickerson, or Derek Jones in sixth, David Dickerson is in seventh, but it's LaMena 20.6 seconds behind Abdullahi, still losing about a second and a half every lap. Tim?
I think this is the straightest line we've seen of these 5 since the beginning of the race, starting with LaMena all the way back to Jones. They're going to be making their way towards the slower cars here, Bob, as they're coming up behind the Officers Club, up the hill, and around towards turn number 6. It looks like LaMena is catching the back of some slower traffic there as they're going into turn number 6. Bob?
Yeah, they got it in the worst spot, right between 7 and 8, and man, oh man, that's got everybody all jammed up. Let's see, LaMena gets through, Levin is through, Paolino is through, but King and Jones, they're hung up bad. So let's see what happens as they compress down. Well, that 5-some turned into a 3-some breakaway with about 4 car lengths in between. That's got to be King and Jones, and then about another 4 car lengths between Jones and number 6, David Dickerson. So as they're coming into 12, coming around that short turn, they're side by side at the lead. It's LaMena and Levin side by side. LaMena pulls that out, but and that cost Levin about 4 car lengths. There was a slower car number 52, that got in the mix as those guys are going by and under the bridge. And over to you, Mike.
All right, here they come, and it is going to be LaMena about 4 car lengths ahead of Levin, about 3 back to King, another 3 back to Paolino, and then Dickerson about 4 car lengths back. But they are now 22.2 seconds behind Abdullahi. Tim?
That's crazy to see that distance when you think of where they are on the track and then physically on the track. But looking between LaMena and Levin, about 2 car lengths, go back about 5 car lengths behind Levin is Jacob King and then Paolino. They spread out just a little bit more this time as they're making their way through behind the Officers Club, up the little hill, and back over towards turn number 6 behind the Sunoco tanks. Bob, they're on their way to you with LaMena out front.
Yeah, he certainly is, but Levin isn't cutting him any slack whatsoever. He's right on his bumper, and LaMena has got a lot of driving to do to make that Miata really wide. LaMena looking driver's left. Then he's looking driver's right. Then he's looking driver's left. He's making sure LaMena knows he's back there, and he's not planning on getting off his rear bumper. As they go into the braking zone, Levin brakes a little bit later than LaMena and goes a little deeper, but that still doesn't help him get a run on him. That actually hurt him a little bit. He's now a car length apart, but there's a car length back to Jacob King there as they are all coming through 12. Now, a car length apart, it is still LaMena in the lead, Levin right behind him. They are using up every bit of track they have. And then, of course, the car number 111, Jacob King, about 4 car lengths back. They're under the bridge, and over to you, Mike.
All right now we have the 05 car of Derek Jones. He took it back behind the wall, dropped out of 11th place. His day is done. The 98 of Dan Janowski, he is also heading back into paddock area. His day is done. And we've got another car that's on pit road. I'm going to try to get a number here in a moment and let you know. It looks like his day is also going to be done. So, Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you for a second. And
Alrighty, taking a look here between LaMania and Levin. Bob, you said you were right. There is about a car length in between LaMania and Levin as they're going behind the Officers Club. Behind Levin is King, about 3 car lengths back. And then Paolino in the 34, about 4 car lengths behind King as they're making their way up towards turn number 7. No change there as they're behind the Sunoco tanks. And over to you, Bob.
2 separate lines between LaMena and Levin. Levin taking a driver's white line. And that is costing him because car number 111, Jacob King, got right alongside him coming out of 7. That settles back out. They're about a car length apart as they go into 9. Coming out of 9 in that short straight between 9 and 10. Side by side, those 2 guys again, LaMena and Levin. But that settles out once again. But again, that mistake that Levin is making, staying wide there, is allowing Jacob King to get right up next to him. And that is going to be, I think, an interesting point as we wind down the laps on this thing. I'm looking at King to sneak on by Levin in one of those wide turns. And, well, that just happened, but for a different reason. David Levin decides to cut turn number 12 a little short and loses a position, Mike, as they come under the bridge, and over to you.
all right, as they go by, it's still LaMena in 2nd. Jacob King up to 3rd. Levin back to 4th. Paolino in 5th. Now the 23 car, Greg Bogart, he was in that yellow Mazda, took it back behind the wall. His day is done. Tim?
All right, these guys have spread out a little bit now as they're going around turn number 2 and over towards turn number 4. LaMania is pulling away pretty decently right now, with about 7 car lengths over King. Levin about 2 car lengths behind LaMania and, behind King, and then Paolino rounding out the top 5 there, about 2 car lengths over Levin. So, Bob, you're going to see a little bit of a distance change in between LaMania and King on the way to you.
Boy, I tell you what, there he is. That's about 5 car lengths, maybe as much as 10 car lengths. But David Levin is trying to stay with Jacob King. He's about a car length apart. Another 10, 15 car lengths back to Paolino, another 10 car lengths back to Dickerson as they go into the entrance to the carousel. Turn number 10, braking zone. Everybody compresses down a little bit, but it's still, right now, LaMania has really got the measure of the rest of this group. These guys are settling out a little bit, and the racing that we saw, those intense racing that we saw last couple of laps, seems to be falling a little bit off. However, King and Levin still going at it, but LaMena still taking advantage of that as he continues to march forward. Now, Levin hops up close to King, but by about 3 car lengths. They're under the bridge, and over to you, Mike.
All right, looking at it right now, I'm trying to figure out how many cars we got left on the lead lap, and it looks like there are 13 cars left on the lead lap. If you take Abdullahi out of the mix, we got a hell of a good race here, but that 22.5-second lead Abdullahi's got is just really kind of making a mockery of this being a race for the win. But LaMena, King, Levin, Paolino, they're still battling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Tim?
I'm taking a look here. I think Levin might have got around King there at turn number 1. That's just a little too far, but you see some numbers over there behind the Officers Club. Bob, we're going to have to take a look at King, Levin when they come back around to your area there to see if there was a change there.
They just got side by side, and there is a change now. It is the 00 of David Levin now in 3rd place, and Jacob King now in 4th place. But they're still duking it out. let's see. King is not happy with that move that Levin pulled and is all over his rear bumper right now as they go between 9 and 10. As they come into 10, the braking zone, Mr. Lamena is still moving forward, but it is Jacob King all over David Levin's rear bumper. Now coming into 12, they are pretty much the same, but they have caught up a little bit with Lamena, which is kind of interesting. There was a 10-car length separation. Now there's only about a 5-car length separation. Those two guys, Levin and King, were doing a little, shall we say, drafting and moving forward as they're battling itself. But it is Lamena, Levin, and King as they go under the bridge. Mike?
And the 182 and 10K haul, I believe that was his, well, wait, no, it might not have been him. But we had another car go back behind the wall. I thought it was the 52, but there's no 52 out there. Oh, yeah, there is. Isaac Jordan, our pole sitter, back behind the wall. His day is done. Tim?
Paolino and Paolino and Dickerson are duking it out right now. They were doing a little bit of bumping. Oh, we got a car sideways down here at turn number 1. Did a 180. He is facing counter race right now, just off of turn number 1, Mike. It looks like he is able to get it back on the track there. Back over here to Paolino and Dickerson. Bob, they are duking it out with less than a car length separating them behind the Officers Club. Now about a car length behind the Sunoco tanks.
Yeah, it's down to about half a car length as they come through 7 and going towards 8, nose to tail. As you pointed out, very, very close racing. And this could be a pass here as they come around 9. The answer is no. Still a car length apart. Let's go back to our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place runners right now. It is still Lamena. It is still David Levin and then Jacob King. Those in order as they compress down into the little braking zone in between 12 and 13. It is down to about a car length between each one of them. Lamena loses a lot here in this mix. David Levin is right on his bumper, as is Jacob King. On under the bridge and over to you, Mike.
All right, the car that spun out down there, Tim, was the 113 of James Fox. Now it's heating up again for 2nd place. Mike Lamena about a car length over David Levin, but Levin looks like he's trying to make the move into 1, can't do it, drops back in line, only about a half a car length behind Lamena. Jacob King about a half a car length behind Levin. That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
That 3-pack, King getting a little loose there, kicking up some dust around turn number 2. Back over here between Lamena and Levin, a car length if that separates them, and then about 2 car lengths between Levin and King as they're going up the hill here. Taking a look behind the building by the Sunoco tanks. Nothing much has really changed there, Bob. Maybe a car length separating that threesome as they're on their way to you.
Pretty much down to about a half car length as they go into 7, Tim. But again, it's Lamena, it is Levin and King in that order. Now let's take a look back at that next group. And Thomas Paolino and David Dickerson, those guys were nose to tail, and they're still nose to tail as they're coming through 9. All right, picking up. I thought somebody said something there, and I was going to yield to them. But anyway, let's pick up Lamena, Levin, and King as they're coming into the braking zone into 12. About a car length apart, Mike. Really not a whole lot of change there, but they are coming up on some slower traffic. Car number 40 is only about a half a turn away from him as he's going under the bridge, and they are just about to go to the bridge. So you've got Lamena, Levin, and King in that order coming under the bridge, and over to you.
All right, and it's Abdullahi was coming up on some slower traffic himself, but with the lead he has, it doesn't really matter. He can just kind of kick back. Now there goes Lamena, about a car length and a half lead.
Gentlemen, we have an issue here in turn 7, and we have a car off, and he's coming in front of everybody else. This is hard to get a number because it's a yellow car. I'll catch it in a couple of seconds here, but everybody made it through. He just took Mr. Toad's wild ride. Back to you, Mike.
Go ahead, Tim. You got the leaders behind me.
Why, yes, I do. Taking a look over here. Alrighty, as you go behind there, looks like we had a little bit of a separation here during all this car fluffle here going on. Nope, the 3-pack is going into turn number 7, Bob.
All right, it's a change of position. 00, David Levin back in the lead. But Levin overcooks it, and he is now moved all the way back into the 3rd part of that group. So, wow. lots of things going on here, and let's just catch the number of the guy that did Mr. Toad's wild ride, and that would be car number 11, Spec Miata 11. He was the wild rider that ended up out in weeds and almost took out 4 cars. So back to that race between Levin, LaMena, and King. It is Levin in the lead right now by about, wait a minute. Yeah, one thing changes, and that is Miata racing. So it is LaMena back in the lead again with car number 111, Jacob King in second. It is then about 3 car lengths back to David Levin. And as they pass that slower car, I said car number 40 was going to play it did a lot. Mike, they're over to you.
All right, as they go by me right now, it is LaMena with about a car length and a half lead over Jacob King. David Levin back about 2 car lengths. Now the 11, that car that took the wild ride, Kurt Laumeister, he's still holding in 14th. And the 40 car, Jessica Sullivan, well, she's about 2 laps down, playing into this lead. So it's Abdullali, but LaMena, King, and Levin, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's where the action's at, Tim.
Still holding about a car length separating LaMena, King, and Levin. Obviously, we know Abdullali, he's over Delaware riding right now by himself. Over behind the Sunoco tanks, Bob, it's about a car length, and if that's separating LaMena, King, and Levin on the way to you.
Yep, down to about half a car length as they go into 7, come out of 7, going into 8. Now that car number 11 got sideways again out of 6 and 7, but settled it on down. Now let's pick up our LaMena, King, Levin battle here. They're down to a car length, compressed down to a half a car length, going into turn 10. Coming out of 10, it is King all over LaMena's rear bumper, and LaMena not happy about that, so he makes a couple of moves, and well, that took care of that issue. King now back about a car length. It is LaMena, King, David Levin as they come out of 12 into 13. About a half a car length between the two, all 3 of them, as they go under the bridge. Mike, they're coming over to you.
9 minutes to go here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Abdullali, a huge lead. And let's see, here comes LaMena. And right behind him by about a half a car length, it is Jacob King in the 111. Another half a car length back to David Levin in the 00. They go down to 1. Now it looks like King wants to make the move on LaMena, can't do it. And Levin locks up the brakes going into 1, but no harm, no foul. Tim?
He did lock him up pretty hard there, Mike, and it almost looked like King was going to try and go around LaMena there, but we got some side-by-side action between King and Levin. Levin was able to make it around King. King falling back there behind the Officers Club. Bob, a little bit of a change there. It looks like King is falling back pretty decently there, about 3 car lengths back now in that 3-pack.
He sure is, but now he catches up into the braking zone in 7 as they are about a car length apart one again. But you're right, it's LaMena, Levin, and King, and that is, you want to talk about some action, that is Miata racing, and that's what we're seeing this afternoon right here at New Jersey Motorsports Park's Thunderbolt circuit. As they get into the braking zone for 10, it settles down to about a car length again between all 3 of them. It's still LaMena in the lead with David Levin in 2nd and Jacob King in 3rd in this group. Now that's for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th overall. And we'll settle that out here as these guys are now nose to tail coming out of 12 into 13. There's a little bit about a car length in between.
All right, guys, we got a situation over here at turn number 2. We have a car sideways off the track. And it looks like he kicked up a lot of dust. He is off the track, looking like he is able to get back on. Obviously, I cannot get a number from here. It's looking like a silver or gray and red or crimson color car, my apologies. Making a little bit of slow entrance back on the track. He is still on the grass, matter of fact. Yep, he is back on the asphalt now. It is a gray over red car. Back over to you, Bob.
Well, I'm going to send it right back here to you because you just had LaMena, Levin, and King. A lot of position changes, Tim.
Okay.
I'm not sure who. I believe Levin's got the lead, then King, then LaMena back in 4th.
All right, I see that 3-pack. They're coming up on that car in question that did the little wild ride over here at turn number 2, Bob. So
that
they're
was
on the way
car
to you.
17, Tim, that did the wild ride. You've got LaMena in the lead, then 111, Jacob King in 4th place, and then David Levin in 5th. There you go. So that's there was a little bit of changes, but they're back to normal again. Again, one of the things that we say about this type of racing, if you don't like what you see, wait about a second and a half and it'll change. No question about that. But that 3-pack is coming up on the slower car that did the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride over there at 2. So this will be interesting because he's still shaking dust off of that car. I can tell you that from here. You can see it falling. He looks like Pigpen from the Charlie Brown script. All right, so LeMaine has got about a car length and a half, 2 car lengths over Jacob King, who is and David Levitt is right on his bumper as they go under the bridge. Mike?
All right, as they come down the front stretch here, now they're going to come up to some slower traffic. And LeMaine about a 2-car length lead over King and Levin, but they are bump drafted, or were anyway, coming down the front stretch. Now they are all nose to tail again, coming up on that slower car. While all that was going on, Jessica Sullivan in the 40th took it back behind the wall. Her day is done. Tim?
All right, that car that did the wild ride over 2 just did it again. He is off the track, but LaMania, King, and Levin making their way around him as he gets back on the track. Behind the Officers Club, King trying to make a move on LaMania. Not even a car length. They were nose to tail. We got a pass there. King over LaMania, I believe, Bob, as they're coming over to you now.
Yep, and it looks like Levin was going to try the same thing, but was not able to do it. So you got Jacob King in 2nd overall, Michael LaMania in 3rd overall, David Levin in 4th overall. Wait a minute. LaMania passes in turn 9, and now it's back to LaMania, King. Well, wait a minute. Now Levin's passing King. So it is LaMania, Levin, and King in the braking zone of the carousel, coming through between 10 and 11. Hey, look, I told you this was going to be changing quickly. They are about a car length apart going into 12. Yeah, they're compressing down in the braking zone. They're coming just out of my sight, now back in my sight. It is still Michael LaMania in the lead. But, oh my gosh, there goes, side by side, it is King and Levin. Now Levin picks up 2nd place. King back in 3rd in that group, and they're under the bridge. And more changes on the way, Mike.
All right, as they go by, LaMania 31.3 seconds behind Abdullahi. LaMania in 2nd. Levin and King bump drafted down the front stretch, but no changes there. So it's LaMania, Levin, King, your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Still holding that for now, yeah. Still holding that as they're going through 2 over towards the Officers Club. But right now, between LaMania and Levin, not even a car length separating them, almost nose to tail up the little hill here. And it looks like there might be a little bit of a kiss there. Nope, pulling back about a car length between LaMania and Levin, about 2 car lengths back to King. Bob?
Yep, and it's interesting. King is taking a driver's left line into 7. And LaMania and Levin are taking a little bit more driver's right. King is doing everything he can to short circuit the track to get up to those guys again. And he's about 2 car lengths now in the little run between 9 and 10. Coming into 10, they do a compression down. LaMania goes deeper, and that gives him a little bit of a distance between himself and Levin. King, that whole thing, all of that is erased as they get into 12 and back to about a half a car length. This is an incredible race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And right now, as they're coming out of 12 and into 13, about a car length separates them, now 2 car lengths. Wait a minute, banging on David Levin's rear bumper. It's Jacob King. Hey, I'm here under the bridge, and over to you guys.
All right, as they come down the front stretch, now it's LaMania with about a 5-car length lead. Then it's 00 of Levin. King bump drafted him down the front stretch again as they try to close in on LaMania. They do going into 1. It's now 1 car length advantage for LaMania. They go around turn 1 over to turn 2, a car length between all of them.
Yep, still holding that, Mike, as they're going around turn number 2, over here towards turn number 4. Still a car length, maybe 2 car lengths in between Levin and King, but that closes up just a hair more as they're going behind the Officers Club towards the little hill over here past the solar panels, over towards the Sunoco tanks, Bob. Still holding about a car length, if that, between LaMania and Levin, and then King knocking on the back door also.
Side by side in 7, and King and Levin were side by side as well. King decided he was going to go driver's left like he did last time, and he managed to get side by side with Levin this time. However, that had to settle out. We knew it would, and it did, as it is now LaMena, Levin, and King in that order going into the braking zone of 10. As they come through 10 into 11, it looks like LaMena's got a little bit more go out of that turn than the rest of them, but that all settles out as they get into turn 12. Coming through 12, back down to a nose-to-tail situation between all three of those guys for second, third, and fourth. As they come out of 12 and into 13, nose-to-tail. And it is literally nose-to-tail. Now it settles out to about a car length between them. It is still LaMena. It is 00 David Levin and Jacob King under the bridge. And over to you, Mike.
All right, now Rafe Abdullahi has been shown the one-to-go board. We are on the last lap. At the line, LaMena with Levin on the outside trying to make a pass. They're going down to turn 1. They are side by side. LaMena's got the preferred line. He locks him up, and it looks like LaMena's going to drop back to 4th as Levin got by him, and so did King.
He was able to keep it on the track there. He has fallen back to 4th position now. Wow, that was crazy, Mike. I'm sure you saw that as much as everybody else did up here on the party deck, we might as well call it. Taking a look here, definitely a big difference in change in positions now, Bob, as we're on the way to you behind the Sunoco tank.
Boy, I tell you what, you weren't kidding when you said there was a big change in position. About 5 car lengths between the 00 David Levin, now in second, and then Jacob King, now in third. And LaMena, well, he's way forward. Mike, our overall leader, under the bridge, and over to you.
All right, Rafi Abdullahi. He has had a 1/3 of the length of this track advantage. As he gets checkered flag and crosses the line, he will win it. Now, LaMena was on the inside going into 1, Tim, and he had to really lock up those brakes because Levin was coming on the outside and kind of cut everything off where LaMena could not, roll it out to make that turn and had to just kind of almost stop the car, letting Levin and King around him.
That was some...
Bob, let's go ahead back to Bob to pick up that 3 race.
All right, here comes the 00 and the 111 of Levin and King. Now LaMena coming by. He is not a happy boy, but they're under the bridge, and over to you.
All right, as they come down, it's going to be the 00. If David Levin comes in second, Jacob King third, and a disappointed Mike LaMena comes in 4th. David Dickerson will finish in 5th. Boy, I'll tell you, that was just something else to see, Bob. If you would have saw that going into 1, it was awesome. And nobody did anything wrong. Levin did not do anything wrong. He just outraced LaMena into 1, and LaMena had no choice but to lock the brakes.
That was some great driving by LaMena to be able to keep that car under control the way he did.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Wow.